Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever the hell you're listening to this. You're listening to Fat Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports Pod with Dad Bods. This is JackKnife alongside the Zach Danielz. How are you doing tonight, Zach?
Doing good. I just realized I left the lights behind me on. I like them darker, so I'm going to turn them off in a second. But Happy New Year, FUNTS listeners, and Jack. How you doing?
Doing good, yes. Happy New Year to all our FUNTS listeners. All 12 of you.
Yes, we love you all.
Yeah.
Here, 1 sec.
That reminds me of a meme I gotta post sometime. It's like that SpongeBob meme, like when he's in the Krabby Patty cook-off with King Neptune. You know, just Dave Portnoy, is King Neptune, and just Barstool is just his pile of Krabby Patties, and I'm SpongeBob, and I just got like the one little Krabby Patty, and that's FUNTS.
Just me and you, buddy.
Exactly.
Just me and you.
Just us. It ain't much, but we're proud of it. But yeah, a lot to talk about in the past 3 days, because there's some major. Thankfully, things have taken a good turn. Major event happened during the Monday Night Football game. Bills defensive back Damar Hamlin ended up collapsing after making a tackle against the Bengals. He stood up after he took a blow to the chest from T. Higgins, and then he just dropped. He was given CPR in the field, and the game was suspended, and he's been revived. He was in a coma, but he's shown lots of signs of improvement. Now he's got movement in his hands and feet, and we found this out earlier today. It's January 5th, evening of January 5th. He has movement in his hands and feet, and he's communicating with his doctors in writing. And he wrote asking, "Did we win?" And the doctor supposedly responded saying, "Yes, you won the game of life."
Yeah, really. Yeah, I saw that. I go bowling every Monday. Was hyped. Was super hyped for the game. Bengals Bills has huge playoff implications, which is something that. Now, obviously, we can focus on a little bit more, but realistically, the past 3 days has not been about football or sports really at all. Honestly, I wanted to record yesterday, but I don't know, it still felt kind of soon. That's why when you suggested today, I was like, yeah, you know what, we can do it today. Especially with that news, I feel like now we can all collectively breathe a little bit better because I'd never seen anything like that before. I was out bowling. And I was playing darts before my lane opened up, and we looked at the screen, and I was like, oh, man, what's going on? It seems serious. And then I saw the reactions of the players, like a lot of them crying. It's like, wow. And then you find out what happened. It was insane. It was insane. We essentially almost saw the unthinkable happen on the field. And it was just out of a random play.
Yeah, I didn't see it live when it happened, but I go onto Twitter. And, you see something about a player injury or just, had to get carted off or whatever. It's like, all right, it's another one of those hits. But then you hear CPR, you're like, oh, no, this guy's heart stopped.
I think that's what broke it, because what's crazy is, on Sunday, watching the Eagles game, which was, I don't want to talk about it, which I'm thankfully we don't need to really. But there was a moment, Josh Sweat, a very good young defensive end, hit someone in the hip, and I'm hoping it's a stinger or just a slight neck injury, but he hit him and he fell to the ground and didn't move. I think he gave a thumbs up. He got carted off the field. It was not good. It was scary when I saw it, but man, nothing came close to the reactions of the coaches, the players, the stands, the bowling alley. They turned the volume onto the TV. Usually the TV's just on in the background. No, they turned the volume on so we could hear the updates that were going on.
Yeah,
that was some scary shit, man.
Yeah, usually, you're able to keep playing when you get, the thumbs up and whatnot, because you at least know, okay, my buddy is more likely than not going to be okay. But the fact that he got to get ambulanced off the field, but the whole football world, the whole sports world, the nation in general is behind Damar Hamlin right now. A lot of people have been donating to his GoFundMe for one of his charities, and it's been it's eclipsed well over $1 million now. And, even Sauce Gardner, Jets cornerback, is going to be wearing a Damar Hamlin jersey during pregame warm-up this week.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know how anyone can look at what happened and not feel kind of fucked up from it. Because, I mean, I'll give you my thoughts on it because I was having some issues the days after. As I was bowling, I mean, I was standing there like watching on the screen next to me too, and I was just going like, what's stopping me from just dropping dead right here while bowling, you know?
Yeah, but
like,
to answer your question, how can you not be fucked up from it? Ask Skip Bayless.
Oh well, yeah. Then there's that piece of shit. I don't even know. I mean, I know why he's on TV. He's gonna get the clicks and the hits, and people are gonna tune in to see what crazy shit he's gonna say next.
Yeah.
Out of anger, But
yeah. I mean, I get that there's playoff implications, but like, dude, wait till we get an update on him. Which,
dude, he tweeted that like as he was getting rushed to the hospital. Like he tweeted that like the moment.
Apparently, the NFL and NFLPA wanted the game to be played, but the coaches were like, "No, we can't do this."
I don't even necessarily know if that's what happened or if it was just protocol because they apparently everyone was just back into the motion of the machine. I mean, I hope that it wasn't a call by the actual NFL and maybe they were just going through the motions of he got carted out. So now we have 5 minutes. I'd like it to be
a call from the NFL because there's 2 times this happened in the NHL in the past few years or in the past decade. You know, there was a incident with Chris Pronger, if I remember correctly. He kept playing after. He went into cardiac arrest too, but then he was able to continue his career. It was similar with him. He took a puck to the chest, not a helmet. But Rich Peverly, he just flat out collapsed on the bench, Dallas Stars player. Jay Bouwmeester collapsed on the St. Louis Blues bench. Both times that happened, the game was just postponed. Yeah. Like within like the hour or so. It wasn't even a question. But the fact that they were even considering continuing that game on Monday night, like players were getting ready to warm up. It's like, come on, these guys. That would. Thank God he's okay because the worst case scenario is that he doesn't make it and they keep playing. That's like the NFL equivalent of the Owen Hart. If you're a wrestling fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I very, very interesting scenario there. I mean, good on Zach Taylor and McDermott just kind of going up and taking charge of that. And I think I don't even know if they didn't probably pull the players at all, but they definitely pulled them off the field and they were like, "Do you guys want to play?" And I'm sure in the locker room, those guys said, "Fuck no." And they had a talk with the NFL to say, "Hey, we're not doing this." So, yeah. And I don't now he's progressing. He's still in critical condition, but these are good signs. He's moving. He's gripping. He's aware. He's aware. As for playoff implications, I honestly, someone's gonna get fucked, and we don't know who, but someone's gonna get fucked, and that's just the way it's gonna be. This is an act of God.
Well, the good thing is, you know, Damar's not out of the woods yet, but he's shown lots of signs of improvement. I guess that's a good way to segue into a possible thing the NFL could do as a result of this. They could make it an 8-team, per conference playoff seeding this year. And if that happens, by some divine miracle, the Jets would be back in it. They'd have to beat Miami, though, but yeah, I kind of don't want to go in on that, though. But I think that's a perfect segue into our next topic. The New York Jets missed out on the playoffs. After such a promising start, they just laid an egg, like, game after game. Zach Wilson was, oh my God, this guy regressed. Like, he's missing wide open passes. He lost the locker room after that second game to New England. And the 1% of me that's not totally done with him takes this into consideration. Okay, the Jets are supposed to be a run-heavy offense. Okay, Breece Hall's injury really screwed them up. And the smartest person I know when it comes to football, my dad, he understands the game better than anyone I know. He thinks the way he sees it, Mike LaFleur is running a very unimaginative offense. Like, he's getting like very little players in motion. It's not giving Zach Wilson or Mike White, for that matter, that much to work with. And someone reminded me this the other day. Who knows what would have happened if that one QB coach who died in that bike accident earlier before the season started? You know, who knows what would happen if he didn't make it through? If he wasn't tragically killed in that bike accident. Yeah, apparently Zach Wilson's mom called Jets fans toxic. Okay, if that's true, I hate to be that guy, but Jets fans have every reason to be frustrated with how this team has been run the past decade. Mike White, you know, he's a warrior, he battles, but he's probably not in it either. He played like dog shit against Seattle, but at the same time, he's nursing a rib injury. Going into next season, I know this. The Jets defense, I say, Super Bowl caliber. We will get Breece Hall back. Hopefully, we will get a healthy Elijah Vera Tucker, Mekhi Becton, hopefully, knock on wood. And we have a very solid receiving core. The big question mark is at QB and whether or not LaFleur is the right guy to run it. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on the Jets.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, your defense was great this year. Besides a couple lapses, your special teams kind of crapped the bed a couple times for you guys. But overall, it was about the offense and how you have, in my opinion, plenty of weapons. Injuries don't help, but I think you still have plenty of weapons even with those injuries, like to Breece Hall into your offensive line. You guys clearly had enough talent to do stuff, and it just Zach Wilson, you guys are a quarterback away still. I don't understand.
I don't think I'd be upset if we got Jimmy Garoppolo, but that's just me. But anyway, you want to talk?
You just got to try something new, you know. And by the way, I'm sorry, Saleh, he's gonna have to get some credit for this, man. That's a huge collapse you guys had. Yeah, huge.
I love Saleh, but you know he's not necessarily guilt free.
His seat's gonna get a little heightened temperature in the offseason, so he's got to do better.
Okay, next year the goal has to be playoffs.
Has to be playoffs.
Yeah, it's after like what I don't think it was necessarily playoffs this year. I don't think the goal necessarily was playoffs this year, but now, I mean, I think the goal was to play meaningful games in December. But now after the start we had, we know this is a playoff caliber team. They just have to go there now.
Yep. Yeah. You guys, your goal this year when teams are bad. Seriously, when teams are bad, the next season you always got to think we got to win this year. We got to have a winning season this year. If you don't make the playoffs because you have a better team in your division or you miss out on the wild card by like one win, a tiebreaker destroys you, that sucks. But the point is always try to go 500 and above.
Right. But anyway,
the fact that it didn't happen, it's just.
But yeah, I know you don't want to talk about the Eagles, but you know you guys are in a playoff spot. It's just a matter of, seeding for you guys.
And Jalen Hurts' health and Lane Johnson's health. Lane Johnson being the best right tackle in the game, right up there with Trent Williams. In fact, probably better. He just set a record recently for like most consecutive games played without giving up a sack in the era that they've been counting that, which is like 2006. But still pretty wild to not give up a sack for almost 3 years. And just health really. And is Jalen Hurts gonna be good? Because clearly, I loved Minshew Mania for a little bit. He played well against the Cowboys, but there were things that he did that would also lost them the game against the Cowboys. And the defense has been kind of lackluster. And then there was last week the Saints were just everything sucked. The defense didn't give up as many points, but they just let them dink and dunk them until they were tired. And Minshew stunk, like just flat out stunk, and it was really depressing to see. But we got to beat the Giants now. We got to beat the Giants, who are in the playoffs. So
yeah, the Giants. I don't think the Giants know where they're going to be. They're, I imagine they're going to rest their starters, which should really help the Eagles. And unfortunately for you, likely not going to. Kayvon Thibodeau's likely not going to play, so you can't put the bounty on him for what he did to Nick Foles.
Dude, yeah, it's not even. I'm serious when I say I know it's the best possible. It's the perfect storm of shit for me to be mad at. But I'm serious. I don't understand how a guy, no matter what team you're on, sack someone, do your stupid celebration while you're on the ground. Still look at the guy while he's writhing in pain. Look at him. Continue your celebration for another 6 seconds, and then get up and then go on the sideline while he's being tended to and do the go to sleep thing on the sideline, and then days later get called out for being classless by Jeff Saturday.
And it was like, you don't even know who Jeff Saturday is.
I don't know who Jeff Saturday is. Like, what are you fucking dumb? Like, 2 days after also a guy almost passed away on the field, like had to be revived back to life. Like, man, fuck that guy. Just fuck that guy. Honestly, I hope, never mind.
Yeah, I thought it was tone deaf of him. Not gonna lie.
Really tone deaf.
All right, some quick baseball news. This one is gonna be quick. The Red Sox are a disaster, but they did one smart thing. They signed Rafael Devers to an 11-year contract. Now here's the story that's got a lot behind it. Last time we talked, Carlos Correa agreed to a deal with the San Francisco Giants, and now that's not happening because of his physical. He had issues with his physical many years ago, in fact, and then he ended up signing with the Mets for less money, and now his status is in limbo. So no one knows what the hell is going on there. They say they're making progress, but the physicals is just making everything look very sketchy.
Yeah, I don't remember this being brought up when he signed with the Twins for 1 year last year, but all I know is that like whatever's going on this year with his physical, quote unquote, it's kind of strange. I read a report saying that he should be a Met by the end of this week. I'm like, I thought this was what is happening? Like, what is going on? So just a weird scenario. All I know is if they really do sign Carlos Correa, that Mets team is loaded. Like, I'm glad that the Phillies also loaded up on some talent again to like try and repeat, like even come close to, I mean, it's hard to get to the World Series.
You guys are definitely a better team this year than you were going into that NLCS. Yeah,
talent-wise, I think we've improved. So, I mean, I know sometimes the playoffs, it's about right place, right time, and the Phillies definitely were, and the Mets definitely weren't. I don't know, but the Mets really improved, so it's going to be a tough division again. It's a 3-team race, basically, unless the Marlins decide to show up. They took Gene Segura, unfortunately. Really love Jimmy Siggs, but hey, it's the Mets, Phillies, and Braves right now.
Yep. Well, anyway, on to hockey. And Zach, guess who's in a playoff spot right now?
Who?
The Seattle Kraken.
Are they?
Yeah,
Fucking awesome. Let's go.
Yeah, they're third in the Pacific right now. But anyway, 3 days ago was the NHL Winter Classic at Fenway Park between the Penguins and Bruins. The second time it was hosted at Fenway Park. The third time the Bruins hosted the Winter Classic. And the Bruins defeated the Penguins 2-1. They're just a freaking wagon right now. 29-4-4. Holy crap.
Wow.
But yeah, the Rangers are clicking again. In their last 10 games, they are 7-2-1. And, they ended 2 long point streaks for 2 very good teams in the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes, in fact, had an 11 franchise record, 11-game win streak until they ran into the Rangers on Tuesday night. And one guy I got to praise is Capo Caco. He made a big blunder against the New York Islanders a few weeks ago. Made an awful turnover against Matthew Barzal. Barzal goes in and scores. Caco's usually this guy that overthinks things, which kind of led to the turnover. Now he's just going out there and playing hockey. He's not, well, he still thinks, but like he's not overthinking plays as much anymore. And like later that game, he ended up getting the game-winning goal with like just over 2 minutes left, and I think just over 2 or 3 minutes left in the third. I'm too lazy to look it up. And he's been establishing himself behind the opponent's goal line and making up great passes, setting guys up. He's got 10 points in his last 12 games. I think it should at least be 11 because I thought he should have been credited with a point against the Tampa Bay Lightning. But yeah, he's starting to get going. And in year 4, starting to be the guy we've been hoping he'd be. But he's not quite there yet. Now we need Alexis Lafreniere to get going. Like he's been kind of invisible. He got benched before or the game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, I'm still just like to Coach Jarko. What the hell are you doing? He's not going to develop, sitting up in the press box. But he's back in the lineup now. He's in his third year. Kakko's showed his improvement in his 4 years. Hey, sometimes it just takes some time to get going. But yeah, how long we've been talking? A little over 20 minutes, but yeah. We are in a new year now, and 2022 was very eventful. So, Zach, you want to recap some of your favorite memories of this past year in sports?
Yeah. I kind of wanted to do. I almost wanted to do a full episode on this, just because there's way more than you'd imagine. And I was taking notes on some, and I even reached out to Instagram and talked to some of the people that follow us. Not that many people, but we got some input. And actually, I just responded to your brother. But one that was brought up was the St. Peter's basketball upset. The St. Peter's Peacocks, fantastic name for college basketball, went to the March Madness tournament. They were the 15th seed. So what happens when you see a 15th seed versus a number 2 seed in March Madness? That's a loss.
Almost a guaranteed loss. Not for the
almost
Peacocks. Almost
guaranteed. Not for the Peacocks. And in fact, they weren't done there. After beating the number 2 University of Kentucky, they beat Kentucky, a powerhouse. They went on to beat Purdue, a 3 seed. And they just kept going. It got to the point, you know what? I think, I'm pretty sure they're a New Jersey school, right? Yeah, they're from Jersey City.
Jersey City. Yeah.
I remembered. There's a wall.
I think my fiance's uncle went there. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Bray. Uncle Bob went to St. Peter's, right? So did my future father-in-law.
All right. Well, did she actually, or did she just nod her head? She doesn't want to be on.
She yelled. That's so did my dad.
Okay. Wow. I couldn't believe I couldn't hear. All right. Anyway, I was hearing it perfectly fine before we started recording. Either way, you can't bet on them, and I'm almost positive they won their third game too, or at least I would have bet on them to cover. But you can't bet on schools in New Jersey, which sucks. I would have thrown the fucking house at that, because they were just on a run. So that was a cool moment in the year. What else is there? I got this list right in front of me. Playoff magic. I mean, the Rangers were a surprise. For when we started this podcast, you were just hoping that they would make the playoffs. All of a sudden, they were in the conference championship last year.
Yep, and it was a very exciting playoff run. Winning 2 Game 7s. Artemi Panarin in overtime against the Penguins, and then the next round. I didn't think they'd come through, but they freaking dominated the Carolina Hurricanes in Raleigh. Then they gave the Tampa Bay Lightning a scare. But, and, I wasn't too upset when we lost. I mean, don't get me wrong, it stinks to lose, but you know what? You went up against a team that was more mature than you, that's been there before, and in a way, they showed the Rangers, hey, this is what you need to do to win. But, yeah, that's definitely my favorite moment of this year, the Rangers' magical playoff run.
Really?
More in particular, the Artemi Panarin Game 7 winner.
Nice. Well, with more playoff magic, obviously, my team in the Phillies, as we were talking about earlier, I mean, they came into the playoffs, they sluggishly. They got their playoff spot dumb late in the season. I think it took them 160 games to clinch it when they had a pretty decent lead for the wild card, and they were slipping away in the end, and luckily so did the Brewers. But sorry, I'm getting a little burpy here from the beer. The Phillies basically they entered the postseason, and in the first year they have the 2-game wild card against the Cardinals, or the 3-game wild card against the Cardinals. They shut down the Cardinals in St. Louis. No big deal. Just, knock out the Cardinals real quick. Oh, well, there's no way they're going to beat the Braves now. No, they beat the Braves pretty good, and I was at one of the games. That was my highlight of the year, sports-wise. I went to the Braves game, the division series clincher. The next series, they go and play the Padres, and the Padres were pretty hot. And they, again, just beat them on the road. Gave us everyone hope. They came back to Philly, and I was saying for a while they weren't going to lose as long as they got to their home stadium. And sure enough, when I was in Las Vegas at when we were Young Fest, which was like the emo kids' dream festival, I found out they clinched and they were going to the World Series. Like, yeah, you couldn't have told me before the start of the season, like maybe the playoffs, maybe the division series, not the World Series. So that was fun, but look, unfortunately they lost to the Houston Astros, who, you know, knock on wood, no cheating this time, but hey, that team is just stacked, and they brought it to the Phillies. And more playoff magic. Holy shit, if you didn't see, we're going to go to the NFL for this one. If you didn't see the Chiefs and Bills playoff game, all you need to do is watch the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and then overtime. Literally the craziest football I've seen in a long time, up until, honestly, this season, when the Bills and the Vikings had, like, one of the best games of all time. And also the Vikings and the Colts had one of the best games of all time. I just unbelievable game that was. Like, the fact that, like, they scored almost, I don't remember how many points, but it, like, there was a scoring frenzy in the last 2 minutes, and it took, like, Patrick Mahomes like 18 seconds to get down the field and score a touchdown or to kick a field goal to tie it up against the Bills and send them to overtime. Just one of the wildest games. And then we'll finish the NFL playoffs with, ready for this? Matt Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams beating Joe Burrow of the Cincinnati Bengals. First off, 2 years ago, you could have never told me the Bengals were in the playoffs, let alone the Super Bowl. They had a magical run of their own. And the Rams were a great team last year when Matt Stafford was healthy and Cooper Kupp was like the best wide receiver in the world for a hot second. And they picked up OBJ. Aaron Donald is like a monster on the defensive line. But that Bengals team was good too, and they put up a fight, and they had a decent Super Bowl. Not the most eventful, but hey, Matt Stafford left the Lions, and like we all thought, you know, Lions being cursed and everything, he goes to L.A., has a good team, and he wins a Super Bowl. So those are some football ones. Was there anything else for you? I mean, I got several more on here.
Nothing else really for me. I mean, I guess you could think about Aaron Judge's magical season. You know, 62 home runs, the new American League home run king. And this week, I know you have this written down, but this I got thrown for Tommy Joe. I didn't see it when it happened, but Ross Chastain wall riding in Martinsville, the video game move, the fact he pulled that off.
Right. Yeah, no, that was honestly, and I'm not, you know, wish we had Tommy Joe to talk about that, but holy shit, man. When I saw that replay, I remembered, I'm not the hugest, I don't watch NASCAR as often, but man, that was making the rounds online, and I saw the video, and I was like, holy shit, he really just sent it. Like, that was the textbook definition of sending it. My favorite
time to watch a replay of it is watching all the other drivers and spotters watch it.
Yes.
Chase Elliott. Like Chase Elliott and, you know, some of the other drivers, you know, they just go, what the hell? Oh my God, he made the transfer. And then everyone else thought that was awesome except Denny Hamlin. You listen to his radio, they were like, there was nothing I could do there, because that ended up eliminating him from the playoffs. And obviously Chastain's crew is going ape.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, and that was just such a cool thing. I mean, I think there was like an ethical argument regarding racing, like, is that allowed or whatever?
Yeah, it is.
Hey, yeah, like, it's absolutely allowed. It's just, you know, it's batshit insane to attempt.
Yeah, it's not that destroyed his car. That's not something that can, you know, you can do for a whole race. But yeah,
he fucking torpedoed into the wall.
Yep. Anyway, what else do we got on there?
Well, you know, we're not tennis fans here, but we have to pay some respects to the fact that Roger Federer, longtime huge tennis player, and Serena Williams, the greatest tennis player in women's history, arguably one of the greatest of all time, considering her accomplishments, both say goodbye to the sport in 2022, and they retired. And another longtime vet. We're not big soccer fans, but the tail end of 2022 also had the World Cup in Qatar, and Lionel Messi finally, after so many years, leads Argentina to the World Cup and wins it himself. And it's apparently one of the most liked. It is the most liked post on Instagram. I think he currently has like 3 of the most liked posts on Instagram as of right now. There's like one of him kissing the trophy, one of him on the plane with the trophy, and one of him like in bed with the trophy.
I don't know. I think it's pronounced Lionel Messi, not Lionel Messi, but
sorry, stupid American.
Lionel's the model train company.
Good point. Say it again.
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi. I gotta say it. Well, I know Big Red will get mad at me if I say it wrong. So.
But yeah, and big Argentina guy. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, speaking of soccer, we lost Pele this year. We lost Mike Leach.
Yeah. Franco Harris at the very tail end of it.
That's right, and like that was the anniversary. I don't remember what year it was, but like the anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, and they were promoting that big time, and then he ended up passing away, like basically the week leading up to it.
Well, you know what was crazy was, you know who that Immaculate Reception was against, right?
The Raiders, that's why they're promoting it. It was Raiders Steelers.
They were promoting it. It was the 50th year of the Immaculate Reception, and he passed away like 2 or 3 days right before that game. Yeah, that's
why they were promoting it the way it was. It was Steelers Raiders.
Insane. And a lot of good stuff. I forgot also, by the way, the Golden State Warriors, they won the NBA championship over the Boston Celtics. It was a pretty good series.
They are back.
It needs to be discussed that Steph Curry is in the GOAT talk. Like, I mean, I know he doesn't have the same physical attributes as LeBron and Michael Jordan maybe, but the dude does nothing but win, and he can hit. He's like a machine when he shoots. There's countless videos if you look up Steph Curry making shots.
Oh, I've seen them. I've seen them.
There's so many. He's not real. Like, he will go from, I think I saw one where he made like 130 in a row, like 3-pointers in the corner. Like, it was like a 6-minute video of him just nailing threes in one spot on the court. And there was another one in pre-game warm-ups. He started at like the foul line. He made a shot. He took a couple steps back, top of the key, shot. 3-point line, shot. A little bit further back from the 3-point line, shot. Like, it was straight on too. It was straight on. And he went all the way to like half court. Didn't miss any. And then when he got to half court, he went back in. The same distance, like, he went back in a little closer. Shot. Made it in.
Yeah, no.
I was like, he's not real. And he wins a lot. It's like, yeah, the run stopped. There's a couple of years in between, but there's still the Golden State Warriors.
He's a very special player.
Klay Thompson scored 50 the other night too. Klay Thompson also, it's another big moment in the year as well. He finally made his return after several horrible injuries, especially for a basketball player. It took him like, I think, over 2,000 days or some shit. Wow. It said it took him like 3 years or something like. Wow. It was a long time. It was a long time for him to get back. And when he came back, it looks like he's not missing a beat because he's still putting up crazy amounts of threes, just like his buddy Steph. And he's still scoring 40, 50 points here and there when Steph isn't. And Steph's currently hurt right now. That team is a unit. It's not just one guy.
It certainly isn't. Well, anyway, I think that's a good note to wrap it up here tonight. Well, thank you for coming to talk to me tonight, Zach.
Yeah, man. We'll find another angle in a couple weeks, and we'll get another episode back.
Yeah, we weren't quite bi-weekly like we said last time, but it was the holiday season, so. But yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
I don't think we need to have any sort of set time at this point. I think let's just do this for fun, and let's try and get some more people to listen to us, and maybe we can try and engage other people too.
And pray Dave Portnoy notices us.
Yeah. Well, that would be nice, but I think he's got
might fly out of his butt.
Yeah, there's too much on his plate while he's in Florida. I think they're worried about the backlash of Rico Bosco. So
I don't know what that is, but I don't want to talk about it. So anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube at Fat Athletic Nerds Talking Sports. Be sure to follow us on all our social medias at FUNTS Podcast on Twitter and Instagram and at Fat Athletic Nerds Talking Sports on Facebook. This is JackKnife alongside Zach Danielz. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Prayers up to Damar Hamlin.